This show contains spoilers and adult language. Listener discretion is advised.
Movies with Ron, movies with Ron.
Hell yeah, motherfucker.
Movies with Ron.
I overheard a guy at work telling another guy about how my sister is on the show now. And he's like, oh man, yeah, I love her. Like, I have no idea what she looks like, but, she's like just as crude as Ron.
Oh,
so
no.
You can imagine how that is.
Oh, great.
And I stopped. I walked back to him. I was like, did I just hear you? Is that how you see me? And he was like, well, and I was like, I need to go home and rethink my life.
No, I had that same experience yesterday. I was telling Jeff, I said, I need help with these characters. I need you to come up with a mutant. He said, oh, Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey has an asshole on his forehead, and he bends over and takes a shit on the floor. It'll be perfect for your show. You guys love that stuff. What about my weapon? A dildo. Make it a dildo. I'm like, Jesus.
Wow. He has an asshole in his forehead.
Yeah. So he bends forward and takes a shit?
Yes. They'll love it.
And he was being serious.
Yeah. No, he was laughing.
Oh.
But he was like, that's how our show is now. Dildos and assholes. That's how we go. That's how we roll.
What's between the butt cheeks?
Is there just an asshole on his forehead? Or is there cheeks?
I pictured just an asshole.
Yeah. Just a sphincter in the middle.
To replace the Cyclops.
He can choose which hole to shit from.
Assholes and dildos. Some people say that's all our show is. I say, what's so wrong with that?
Welcome to episode 83 of Movies with Ron, the podcast where my older brother recaps a movie he saw from beginning to end for me and you, because we like his versions better. We like them better. It's okay if you've seen the movie. It's okay if you haven't seen it. The experience is unique, so stick around. I'm Chris, your MC for the time being. Rick is working tonight. Here with us, Nurse Candy.
Hey, everybody.
And here he is, folks.
He's the ball cracker, death on foot. You know him, you love him. He's Ron.
Yeah, come on, baby.
Hey, Ron.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Ron.
All right, Krull.
Yeah, baby.
Woo.
The movie Krull.
That's Krull.
Yeah, like the donut. A cruller.
Yeah, cruller.
Twisty donut.
You throw it.
He throws a donut in the movie. No, Krull, it came out at a special time period.
Oh, yeah.
Came out in 1983.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like, because that's not my forte. It was before my birth.
Yeah.
It seems like Star Wars came out in the late 70s, and everyone was gaga for sci-fi. And then Krull tried to kind of mix it in a postmodern way.
Yes.
At the time. It mixed, and I wrote these 3 words down. Swords, sorcery, and lasers.
Yes.
And that is Krull.
Absolutely.
Directed by Peter Yates.
Yeah, man.
Who, before this, he was all like drama Oscar bait movies.
Yeah.
And this was his big step into darkness,
Yeah.
like different territory for him. Krull, not well received when it came out.
Yes, I understand.
Does not mean it doesn't kick ass or isn't special to a lot of people. It's a cult film now.
This is one of my absolute favorite movies, man.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
Being a kid.
I had Krull coloring books.
I remember that.
You showed this movie to me, and his selling point was, you gotta see this weapon.
Yeah.
That this guy has. And this was back in the days where you had to check a schedule for the channels.
Yeah.
Like either in the paper or there was a TV guide, but you had to look and see when Krull was coming on. And, he's got the glaive.
Yeah.
The fucking awesomest.
Yeah. This weapon still beats any fucking weapon anyone's ever made up in any movie ever. The glaive. I used to make them out of like Lego and fucking Tinker Toys and shit.
So what was it that really made you passionate about this movie?
The glaive and Ken Marshall.
What did you like about Ken Marshall?
I was so taken in by his hero persona, you know? And in this movie, he like swashbuckles and shit. He is like a modern Errol Flynn in this movie. It's a beautiful thing to watch, but also he's so real when he's like trying to be the good hero, like telling people, come on, we gotta save the world. And it's just like, yeah, man. Man, I will follow you to the edge of the earth. I gotta get me one of them glaved.
But I started looking up, because the whole sorcery, swords, and lasers, I tried to look up similar movies in the same vein. And there seems to be a lot. Maybe not quite as special as Krull. Let's go through some of them.
Okay.
Conan the Destroyer.
There was lasers in that?
Kinda. Remember, Conan the Destroyer was like the sequel to the other one.
Oh, yeah.
Conan the Barbarian came out. Then I think Krull came out. And then the Destroyer came out. Because Conan the Destroyer, pretty much like Krull.
Yeah, sort of.
It's got that 80s wave to it that the awesome Barbarian did not have.
Right.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it as much as the first one.
Oh, yeah, nobody did.
No, nobody did. But
I'll tell you what, though, Grace Jones, Jesus Christ.
yeah.
Like, when she first shows up and is all like, rawr, like, you just have to sit there and be like, God damn. She's so beautiful.
Fucking Wilt Chamberlain was in that movie, too.
Yeah. And he was like the caretaker of the tiny little blonde girl. Like, here, Conan, I guess you can have a turn.
All right. Clash of the Titans.
Again, no lasers.
No.
Nah, but there's like a mechanical owl. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Ray Harryhausen's last film.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
That's such a great movie.
I can't believe that came out in 81.
I know.
And he was still using that old school claymation special effects.
It was beautiful. I love that Medusa.
There's claymation in Krull.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Little homage there.
Researching these movies, I discovered Pat Roach.
I know that name.
Anybody know who he is?
No.
He was in Clash of the Titans, also Conan the Destroyer, and all of the Indiana Jones movies. In Raiders, he was the big Nazi, bare-chested.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's fighting all the dudes.
Yeah.
He's kicking ass. And then he, like, sees that guy and he's like, oh, fuck. And,
Yeah, I think he's usually just referred to as the Nazi mechanic.
anyways, in Temple of Doom, he's the gigantic turban bad guy. Remember?
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. He plays a similar character in the third one, too. Oh, he was in Willow as well. Played the skull mask bad guy. The cool one. Yeah?
Yeah.
Pat Roach.
Wow.
All right, this is one I haven't heard of.
Out of the way, Peck.
Hawk the Slayer.
Yeah, never heard of it.
No? Oh, man. Jack Palance plays the bad guy? Like, they got a legend?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. And it looks like you watch the trailer, it looks like a movie someone made in their backyard. And all the money went to Jack Palance. And, it's fantasy. There's no lasers. But at a point, when the hero's like getting his power, he's got this like Technicolor hula hoop. That's just like spinning around him. Legend? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Dragon Slayer? Did we do an episode on that? I was going through these.
Yeah, no, but we talked about it a lot. think we recommended it. You guys seen that yet? Everybody's like, who's Jack Palance?
1987, Masters of the Universe.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Not a good movie. But everybody saw that shit.
Yeah. Dolph Lundgren, like, before he spoke English.
Pretty much.
1982, Beastmaster.
Oh, yes. Expect an episode on Beastmaster someday.
Yeah, totally. I was reading about Beastmaster, and they're like, forget that guy with the sword and stuff. The real star of Beastmaster is Poto and Kodo.
Is it Poto and Kodo?
That's their names. Poto and Kodo. Anyways, yeah, he talks to animals. Those two were his ferrets.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually based on a book by Andre Norton, who hates the movie versions.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. A surprisingly well-played bad guy by Rip Torn.
Oh, yeah.
Ah,
he was
I
so
heard about
good.
that.
Yeah.
What do you mean you heard about that? You've seen it, right?
I saw bits and pieces. Okay, I remember the second one. And the second one is like...
shit.
Yeah, it's like Beastmaster in L.A. Lady Hawk, 1985.
Oh,
love it.
yeah,
Love
man.
it.
Yeah. Boring as shit. Good movie, though.
Ah.
Very boring. That's okay. I'm okay with that. It is boring. 1984, Never-Ending Story. Yeah?
Yeah.
We're talking about the creativity here, man.
Yeah, okay. All right. Sorry. Jesus Christ.
There's no lasers in that. Aren't they like flying through space? Kind of fantasy sci-fi mixture? Fuck you. I'm not done with Never-Ending Story. The fucking wolf, the big bad dude, there's a wolf in that movie.
Yeah, man.
And he is all puppeteering.
Yes.
And the thing that gets you is his eyes.
Yeah.
He's such a good bad guy, and he's not even real.
I know. Fucking when Atreyu's like staring him down and like they have their showdown, he's like, come for me, Gmok.
Yeah.
I am Atreyu.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck.
Yeah. He's a wolf, but he's like complicated.
Yeah.
It's fucking, they're talking to each other. Oh, tell me if you've heard of this. 1983, Death Stalker.
Yes.
Yeah. I got this picture. If there's anything you can take away from that movie, it's the bikini this girl's wearing. Yeah.
My God.
Hey. Her boobs are going out to the left and the right.
It looks like it has great support, like the straps are unnecessary. Not bad, Deathstalker. We'll post that on the social media. Last one, Flash Gordon. Isn't that kind of a mixture?
Oh, yeah.
She got fantasy and sci-fi.
Yes.
That,
All right.
that has lasers.
Yep.
There you go. So I'm thinking about Krull. It's been a while since I've seen it,
Yeah.
but I remember the time-honored setup. The hero gathers a ragtag party of adventurers. Mm-hmm. Right? They set out to find a mystical weapon used to defeat the villain and rescue the hero's fiancé. I wanted to know, if we were that hero, who would we cast as our adventurers? You know, our fiancé? Who would we fight? What kind of weapon would we find? Yeah. You want to hear what I got?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So a monster just kidnapped my fiancé. So I have to get my best friend involved, right?
Yes.
The best friend who is always going to stick by me, even if the others disagree with what I'm saying,
Sure.
with how I'm leading. He might jump in front and take a sword for me, or a laser, you know?
Yeah. Or like a dildo of truth.
Michael Rappaport. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
The redheaded guy?
Is that all you remember him for? He is a talented fucking actor.
He's got like a New York accent.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, swords and shit.
Yeah, like, you know.
He's the best friend. I'm the hero, guys. I'm the one who impresses you. Michael Rappaport, he pulls through as the best friend. And don't worry, he dies.
All right, I'm in.
All right. All right, so then we get the thief. We need a thief.
Yeah.
We can't convince people at first, but we convince the criminal, the guy who steals shit. And later on has to like pick locks and like sneak through prison bars and stuff.
Yeah.
Charlie Day,
Oh, yeah, good one.
the thief.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah, all right. Then we need the muscle. Yeah, known for swinging a sword or a giant hammer or, lots of glistening muscles and shit. Leslie Jones
Who is that?
from the new Ghostbusters. Yeah. She got a bad rap for that one. We're going to redeem her.
Okay. Yeah,
All right.
not bad.
Is she like the comic relief?
I think she would have to be. I don't think you can cast her and ever not be funny.
Yeah.
All right. But she kicks ass. Then we got the sharpshooter, expert with long-ranged weapons, all right? Because he liked one of my tweets once, Clifton Collins Jr.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. And of course, you need your Gandalf of the story. The old man wizard. The source of wisdom, Dwight Yoakam.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, man, you got to go on a quest. That's what he sounds like. Hey, listen, man.
With a big, long white beard.
Oh, what's your weapon?
Weapon is, we find a mystical canteen. Yeah. Magic canteen where if I drink from it, and only me, it only works on me. Okay, it never empties. Okay? I drink from it and I can spit out whatever I want
Jesus.
in liquid form. I can spit out fire,
Whoa.
like napalm. I can spit out acid, like melt shit, and I can spit out just I don't know. Come. Magical canteen, all right?
He spits cum. You spit cum anyway.
All right?
You don't need that. Dildos and assholes.
My villain is a stone golem with the head of Kurtwood Smith. Awesome bad guy.
Fuck yeah.
All right. And to rescue my fiance, Bernadette Peters.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But old Bernadette.
See, I was thinking like Bernadette Peters from The Jerk.
Yeah.
Which is why I love her.
Oh, yeah.
But then I was thinking, I'll take any age. Yeah. Don't worry. Candy, what do you got?
All right. Well, I have a ragtag band of adventurers, and my wingman is actually Adrian Brody.
Wow.
Nice.
I think he would be great in this kind of movie. My thief and comic relief would be Sam Rockwell.
Yeah.
Nice.
And my strong man, because we need like an older guy in the group, would be Eric Bana.
Yeah.
Not young Eric Bana, but like now. He's still pretty tough.
All right.
And also, to round things out, a mysterious warrior from the east, Chow Yun-Fat. Young Chow Yun-Fat from like the Replacement Killers when he was badass.
Fuck yeah.
Yes.
All right.
And I need a mutant adventurer, and he would be a centaur. Played by Terry Crews.
Wow.
I didn't really want to get dirty with this, but I thought it would be a great comic running joke where he has this huge horse penis that
So he has to wear pants.
no, but they'll be like walking through a bog, and they'll walk out, and it'll be all muddy, and I'll be like, "Oh man!" Everybody looks at him. Everybody looks down. They're like, "Oh god!" Like that's just an infection waiting to happen. Does anybody have a baby wipe or something?
Clean me up.
My wise man would be Jeffrey Rush, who is
All right.
telepathic and also kind of a drunk. Because I like drunk Jeffrey Rush.
Yeah, man. Who doesn't?
My bad guy would be Viggo Mortensen, who I don't think has played a bad guy enough. I've never gotten over seeing him play Lucifer in that angel movie. What is that called?
The Prophecy.
That's right. He was awesome in that, man.
Yeah.
He was dark. So I thought he could be older, like now, and be maybe a vampire or something.
With his fat little sausage.
What's your weapon?
My weapon? Okay. Have you ever heard of a tonfa?
Nope.
It's a melee weapon. Okay, it's got a handle. It's usually made out of wood, and it runs up someone's forearm.
Yeah.
And you can flip it forward and beat people with it. Do you remember the Nazi from Hellboy? He had like blade tonfas. Okay. These would be tonfa blades. So it would be a huge blade running up somebody's forearm.
Like the way you use a nightstick, kind of. Yeah, kind of like that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And when I would pick them up, nobody else could use them. They would be heavy as shit. So you have to be pure of heart and like on a quest to do good for them to be able to react to you. So they would encase my entire arm and glow when I fought with them. Oh. So that's my weapon. Good for killing vampires or something. This is what I got. All right.
You got nerdy with the weapon. Yeah.
I know. I put way too much effort into this.
Nerd!
I didn't plan for a love interest in mind. That wasn't fully thought out. So
you
want to give me
you
one?
need me to give you
I
one.
I do. What do you think?
Your love interest is a James Spader.
Oh, good one. Yes.
Yeah. I've been taken prisoner or something. I need somebody to save me or something.
Okay, Ron, what do you got?
All right. Mine is not the best one so far. So I am on a quest. And here's my group of dudes. The thief, the grease monkey.
Nice.
Perfect.
Yeah. I mean, I can't believe you guys didn't pick him already.
Haven't seen him in a while.
Kevin J. O'Connor.
Yeah. All right, my wizard. Only in my land of adventure, he's just called a whiz. Breaking out of his usual shell and playing this role completely seriously, Chevy Chase.
Oh.
My muscle is Dolph Lundgren.
There you
Ooh, good
go.
one.
Yeah. Only he's deaf and mute,
Yeah.
right? He's got a tragic backstory, but that was going to come up in the sequel, which never got made. And then we got that squirrely kind of guy where he's like, he's with us, but I can tell he's a bad guy, you know, and then he kind of betrays us.
Oh, yeah.
And then at the end, he kind of swoops in and decides to be good. Ladies and gentlemen, a Kevin Bacon. So for my weapon, you guys have like, only I can use this weapon.
Fuck yeah, dude. It's the same thing with the glaive, right?
You know, I guess.
Okay.
My weapon anybody can use, but I got it. So everybody else is fucked.
Okay.
Nothing all that special, just a good old trusty laser whip.
Whoa.
Yeah, and the grease monkey's like playing with it, and he like cuts off a finger. My fiance has been kidnapped by the evil warlord Tom Selleck.
Oh.
Old or young Tom Selleck?
Fucking old Tom Selleck, man.
What's he wearing?
Leather straps. They come around his torso and then meet in the center of his chest in like a brass ring.
Oh, kind of like Sean Connery from Zardoz.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And he's kidnapped my damsel, who is a young Kate Capshaw.
Oh.
That's Willie
you
Scott
go.
from the Temple of Doom.
Very good.
And she's wearing her Chinese dress.
A big ching bang a bang a bing bong.
Anything goes. So that's it. I saved the day, and we rule the planet.
All right.
Go, Ron.
All right, Ron.
You guys just spit cum and kill vampires.
With my cum canteen.
I have a canteen that when I drink it, I can be God. And I end the movie.
Hey, man, it's magical. I put a magical spin on it.
Nobody had lasers. Terry Crews, giant horse penis.
Yeah. He shoots lasers out of that, I'm sure.
They don't shoot out. They just kind of drip out. When he doesn't mean for it to happen. And he's like, oh, sorry. And at the end, it pays off somehow, you know?
Yes.
Tom Selleck's wearing those leather straps, but he's like, kind of fat.
Does he have a mustache?
Of course. It glows when he's using his powers. It glows yellow, though. It's like very unflattering.
All right, folks, look out, because the beast has many weapons. This is one of them. It's Krull on Movies with Ron.
It's showtime.
Yeah, get ready for some shit!
Yeah.
Get the people out. Come on. Get the people out.
Let's fucking do this. All right, now first of all, we need to talk about the glaive. We've talked about it, but we haven't described what it is.
Right.
It's like a star-shaped knife. Now, it's not a throwing star, although it is star-shaped and it is thrown, but it's like a handle that's got like 5 protrusion. It's like a star, but it's like, man, I need your help describing this shit.
It's a giant throwing star, but it has the function of a boomerang.
Right, right.
And the blades snap out of it like a switchblade,
Yeah, yeah.
out of each finger. And it's like gold and bejeweled.
It's delicate, kind of seems. I don't know.
Oh, you are wrong. It's actually quite hefty. Like when you see it in Ken Marshall's hand, you're like, Jesus, you got to be a man to handle that thing. He like catches it when it comes back too. It's fucking beautiful. I bring this up now because we start off with just a shot of space, outer space, and then we hear and the fucking glaive just comes flying out into space, like away from us, and it's like, whoa, what was that? And it's spinning, and then it comes back, and you're like, whoa, man, the fuck is that thing? And then it comes back in a frame, and it goes, shing, and it is part of the movie title. And it just goes, Krull. And at the end of the word Krull is the glaive. And then, because this movie was, designed to kind of combat Star Wars, we have a big, giant thing slowly floating by us in space. But it's not a ship. It's like made out of rocks and shit. It's like a giant fucking craggy, sharp asteroid, okay? Mm-hmm. But it's real slow. But then all of a sudden, the giant crag turns sideways and starts floating down towards this planet that we see. And it comes down and slowly lands on the planet. And it's all huge, and there's like steam and smoke flowing away from it and shit. And we say, oh my God, it's a giant fucking evil castle.
Oh, shit.
And there's like a big ball in the center of it. And this fucker looks evil. This is like Snake Mountain from He-Man times 20. And it lands and like, it like cracks the land. So serious shit. Mm-hmm. And then we got some narration done by Freddie Jones. He's an old man. He is the Gandalf of this story.
Okay.
This was given to me to know that many worlds have been enslaved by the beast and his army, the Slayers. And the beast would come to our world, the world of Krull, and his black fortress would be seen in the land. And he would fuck everything up. And the smoke of burning villages would darken the sky. And the cries of the dying would echo through the deserted valleys. And while he's saying all this shit, we start to see this army of slayers coming out of the castle. And they're all like, fucking amazing looking. They're like archaic stormtroopers, okay? And they got this weird circular helmet with these giant collars coming off of them. And they're like, whoa, man. Like, you can't see anything resembling a fucking face on them. They're just like bastards. They all come riding out of the castle, and they're like, "Roar!" And they got torches and shit. And dude, they are just like they're rallying themselves while this guy's narrating, and they're like fist pumping in the air, like we're gonna fuck it up, we're gonna fuck it
up. That's good.
But one thing I cannot know, whether the prophecy be true, that a girl of ancient name shall become queen, and that she shall choose a king, and together they shall rule our world. And their son shall rule the galaxy. And now we see Her Royal Hotness Princess Lissa. Played by the delectable Lisette Anthony. Holy shit. You want to know what I jacked off to as a kid?
Oh my God.
Go watch Krull.
I know what I'm jacking off to tonight.
Terry Crews. Yeah, drip it. So Princess Lissa is just like standing there looking out the castle window.
So what does she look like?
She's red-haired, fair-skinned, delicate, but she is a fucking wild cat in bed. Jesus Christ. Watch this movie. And her father, the king, walks up. And she's like, Coleman should be here by now. Well, you know, the Slayers, they're everywhere. They're cutting off all the roads and everything. Coleman might not make it. At that point, we actually see Coleman, played by badass motherfucker Ken Marshall.
Yeah.
Riding across the land. And he's got like 15 dudes with him. One of them is his father, the other king. So he is a prince.
I'm a prince. I'm a prince.
Fuck yeah. So the king's like, he might not make it, baby. Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? Well, I sent men to help him. Besides, he's the son of our enemy. But we need the alliance because of the fucking Slayers. It's the only way we'll stand a chance. Well, then I'll sign a treaty or something like that, you know. But you don't need to marry him. I don't want any dildos. And I don't want any ground floors. The marriage is the only way to guarantee the alliance. Besides, my body, my choice. Well, if it was anyone but Tuttle's son. King Tuttled, that's the other guy.
Okay.
Colwyn's a great fighter. Well, good fighters make bad husbands, you see? And she's like, well, perhaps. And then Colwyn and the king arrive with all their motherfuckers. They ride their horses right into the fucking castle. Like, fuck this shit. Daddy's home. And the music's all, da-na, 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 da-na. Oh, man, the music in this movie. James Horner, of course.
Oh.
Yeah. I heard it was good.
Beautiful, man. So they get in there and the kings immediately start fucking arguing. They're like mortal enemies. We sent to you for help. None came. Well, I dispatched 20 men. We lost 300 getting here. I didn't choose this marriage, Tuttled. Nor did I, Earwig. His name is actually Earig, but I was watching, I was like, Earwig. King Earwig. And Colwyn speaks, and he's like, I chose it. Your daughter chose it. It'll be done. Like, bitches. Well, and you'll lead our armies against the Slayers? Whatever army I have, I'll lead against them. Until I've won, or I'm dead. And it's like, God damn. Motherfucker. So then Lissa, she's off like wandering the castle, and Colwyn comes in and he's like, hey, baby. And she looks him up and down. She's like, holy shit. I've chosen well. And he goes, so have I. My father says good fighters make bad husbands. Well, that depends. On what? On whether you expect a husband to follow you around and jump when you clap. Wouldn't you jump for me? No, of course not. You're a warrior. And then he just grabs her and they kiss, baby. So the whole deal is they're getting married and they're going to unite the two bastard kingdoms.
Okay.
They're getting married by moonlight. Never seen that ever.
Yeah. Nice.
So now we got the wedding, and it's all torches and quiet, respectful shit. The two kings, giving their kids away. They're like, from this day, my kingdom is no more, nor mine, but a single kingdom under our children. Yay! You having a good time? It's a pretty fun little, everything's happy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, shit. Couldn't get better. Fucking Slayers are here, bitches. Oh. They are already at the castle, and they're like, dun, 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 dun. It's all like, oh, yeah, let's fuck it up. Come on. I mean, they are fucking madmen. They don't actually talk, though. It's more a spiritual cry, battle cry. That's what I imagine they're all feeling.
Do they know the Slayers are here? Do they know they landed?
Oh, yeah.
And they still choose to have a wedding.
Well, they're having a wedding so they can unite the two bastard kingdoms and then join their armies, and Colwyn will lead them against the Slayers.
Okay.
As stated, probably 3 times now.
They thought the Slayers would just wait for
Yes.
that to happen. Okay.
Oh, you know what? Good point. You got me there, Chris. Somebody had already said, it might be too late. And Colwyn goes, it's not too late.
Ah.
Yeah, good one. So the Slayers are going to attack the castle, but off in the bushes.
Take them to the bushes.
And wash them down. The old man, the narrator, his name is Aenir. Standing in the bushes.
Throwing up.
I was going to say beating off. Standing in the bushes, silently beating off. And watching the Slayers. It cuts between the Slayers coming to attack and then the wedding. Now, the wedding ceremony is pretty weird. They're standing in front of a pool of water. And Colwyn's like, I give fire to water. And he just dunks a torch into the water and puts it out. It's like, what? Not to return except from the hand of the woman I choose as my wife. It's like, oh yeah, cool, gotcha. I take fire from water, and I give it only to the man I choose as my husband. She reaches her hand into the water and pulls out. There is fire in her hand, guys. At that point, you're like, whoa. Krull. You guys get that Krull is the name of the planet?
Yes.
Slayers are now climbing up the walls of the castle, and they're like, it's beautiful wire work, but these Slayers are just like, come on! I can't wait to fuck! I'm gonna fuck so much. They fucking attack. Everybody's like, oh shit, call the guards! Everybody starts fucking fighting, right? Now, Colwyn is like, is there a way out of the castle? Yeah. Well, yeah, there's a tunnel. Clarence will show you. Clarence takes Lyssa out the tunnel. They're going to escape. Got a couple guards with her. The Slayers pull out their weapons, which are like a big lance, with a blade on the end of it. Mm-hmm. And they can stick you. But if they want, they can turn it around and fire fucking lasers out of the other end of it.
Holy shit.
Oh, man.
There you go. Perfect weapon.
Colwyn, fuck that. He's a man. He pulls out his sword and fucking starts fighting these fuckers. He's like swinging around on curtains and shit. This motherfucker is Errol Flynn. Okay? He's like ting, 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 ting. The Slayers start killing fucking everybody, man. Oh. Nobody can, defeat these fuckers. Colwyn kills his first Slayer. He does this by hitting it in its bubble mask with his sword. He breaks the bubble, and it goes. There's red lightning on it. It hits the ground, and then a tiny alien parasite crawls out of the head and disappears into the ground. This happens every time one of them dies.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. Colwyn's dad, the old bastard king, he's fighting. Ting, 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 ting. Colwyn goes in and he's defending him. Lyssa's doing her tunnel escape with Clarence and the guards. They run into some Slayers who are already waiting for him at the end. And it's all foreboding and creepy. They're not come on, let's fuck. They're just Yeah, here we are. They kill all her guards. They kill Clarence. They kill her dad, the king. Everybody's fucking fighting, and the Slayers kidnap Lissa. And they start riding away with her on a fucking horse. And she's like, Colwyn! Colwyn! Colwyn is watching her get taken away when he should have been defending his father, who then gets killed. Yeah, it's like a moment of duality that you really don't notice unless you're me, who loves this movie so much, you know? It's a complex story. So the Slayers leave, but not before one of them shoots Colwyn in the chest. The fucking laser. And he goes down and dies. Oh. Yeah, movie's over, man. Then it shows all these Slayers like, taking her back to the Black Fortress. Fuck yeah. They're fist pumping. Yeah. Cuts to the morning after. Everybody's fucking dead. And now the old man in here. He goes quietly riding into Death Castle. He's looking around at everybody. He sees the dead king that's Colwyn's father, and he pulls an amulet off of his neck. And he goes over to Colwyn, who is like seemingly dead from this shot to the chest, and he's just like rubbing some ointment onto his chest. Like, yes. It has to hurt if it's to heal. Colwyn just wakes up and he's like, Lissa!
She's alive.
Where?
Stay still, goddammit!
Where is she?
Beyond your reach.
Who the fuck are you?
I am Inia.
And then fucking Colwyn is like, oh. And he goes, the old one. And Inia is like, what the fuck? That's what you guys call me? Like, I'm not that fucking old. You come down from the Granite Mountains. Like, everybody knows Yoda, you know, lives up there.
Yes, well, I was needed.
And he gives him his father's amulet. He looks at it, he's like, oh, Jesus Christ, Dad. And he starts crying.
There is no time for crying.
Yeah, well, you haven't lost a father and a bride on the same day, asshole.
Nor have I become king on that day.
Like, whoa. All right.
Yeah.
Fuck it, I have no kingdom. You're welcome to it.
I came to find a king, and I find a boy instead. Fuck it, I'm leaving.
He saddles up and starts fucking leaving. Coleman's like, wait, what about my girlfriend? Coleman's like, wait, what about my wife?
They took her to the Black Fortress, bitch.
Will you lead me there?
You will need help. You will need strong, well-hung men.
We'll find them on the way.
You face more than slayers. You will face the beast who is their leader.
He can be killed. And it's like, good job, Colwyn. That's fucking positive thinking. Yeah, he's a man's man.
Perhaps, but no man's ever seen him and lived. You will need more than men and swords. You will need the power of the glaive.
Yeah, and Colwyn's like, shit. Cuts to them. They've already left the castle. They're riding through the mountains and shit. He's like, I thought the glaive didn't exist. It's really just kind of a symbol. I need weapons, not symbols.
The glaive was once a very powerful weapon. It can be so again, for the right man.
Am I that man?
I wish I knew. The glaive is in a cave. It's in the glaive cave. At the highest peak of the tallest mountain.
Yeah, all right, well, don't worry. I'll come back with it.
Well, if you don't, you won't come back at all.
Wait, what? Then it just cuts to this huge fucking mountain range. And it is beautiful. I don't know where they filmed this, but it's fucking cool as shit. They spent a lot of money flying helicopters around this shit. And you get like 5 good minutes of Colwyn climbing these mountains.
Oh.
The Granite Mountains?
Yeah. The stuntman who played him is like climbing a mountain in nothing but tight pants with a sword. And he's like running along the peaks. It's just like, man, it's fucking dangerous shit. It's really Colwyn's can-do attitude that really saves the day in this movie. He's climbing it, and then like there's some like rocks falling, and you can tell they're made out of styrofoam. You can tell a bunch of stuff is made out of styrofoam in this movie, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And he fucking sees the cave. He's like, fuck yeah, all right. It's all like hot and sunny outside. And then he goes inside, and in the cave at the top of the mountain is like steamy lava. And it's all like red. And he's like, Jesus, it's pretty steamy. In the middle of this cave is like a tiny little river of lava. And it's like, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, oh, wow, this is mystical. He goes and looks into the lava, and he sees this black star right there in like the boiling lava. Okay. And he's like, oh, okay. How am I supposed to grab it? You know what? It's cool. And he just jams his hand into the lava, and there's like fire from when he fucking puts his hand in it, and he pulls that thing out. He is not burned, you guys.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, this is it. And it's just like a little star made out of black mud. He's like, yeah. He pulls it out. The music's all da-na-na-na. And there's like a ray of light coming into the cave, and he holds it into the ray of light, and then all the mud falls off, and it's the beautiful gold gem encrusted glaive, baby. Wow. And he's like, yeah, holy shit. And he's holding it, and then the blades come out of every finger of it, just like shing. And he's like, yeah. And then we fade to the Black Fortress. And Lissa, man, God bless her. She's running around inside this Black Fortress, and it is fucking insane looking inside this place, all right? There's like rooms where it's just a giant clawed hand, and she's just standing in the palm of the hand. And it's, this is just architecture.
Yeah, it's fucking cool.
Yeah, it's beautiful, man. Mm-hmm. Where she's standing right now is inside of a giant eyeball room. It's fucking cool, man. So from afar, we just see a giant eye with Lissa in the pupil.
Yeah.
And we don't quite see this beast yet, the beast. But he starts talking to her. You have been brought here for a marriage. And she's like, I just got married. I will give you jewels. She turns around and she's like, well, shit. And then she sees the beast, and he's like, we don't see a good clear view of him. We just kind of see some of his parts, but like very close up and foggy. So it's, a little mysterious. Yeah. But he's definitely a fucking reptile monster with red eyes. And he's like all like sweaty and pulsating.
What was he going to do with her? Like really?
He was going to give her jewels. You don't understand. And I've been thinking about this. He's like
gigantic.
Well, he's pretty gigantic, yeah. What was he going to do? He was going to fuck her.
Yeah.
And you know what? He was probably going to treat her right.
Yeah, it reminds me of Legend.
Yeah. I think the beast gets a bad rap. He was probably going to be way better to Lissa than Colwyn ever was. Colwyn was like, oh, you're going to make me jump? I don't fucking think so.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you got the beast, the bastard beast, who's like, I'll give you whatever you want.
Yes.
Just love me. Fear me. We cut back to Colwyn. He makes it down to the bottom of the mountain where Aenir is waiting. And he's like, I got the glaive, holy shit. And he's about to throw it. Okay? And we're going to see some shit, some cool shit. And then Aenir stands up and he stops him. And he's like, do not use it until you need it. And you as a viewer are like, fuck. Well, how will I know when the time is right? You'll know. Anyway, check this out. The Black Fortress, all right? It's one of the coolest things about this movie. It actually teleports to a different point on the planet every day. So there's no way you can know where it is. Yeah. It's fucking awesome. And they show that throughout the movie. It'll be in the desert, and it'll just teleport to the fucking North Pole. Yeah. And it's sometimes it's in the sea. That is cool. And Colwyn's like, you told me you could find it, asshole. And he was like, get fucked! There are kingly virtues other than bravery. Courtesy is one of them. And Colwyn is like, damn. All right. I am sorry. It's just, Lissa. Yes, I too was young once. I loved as you. But your love will be luckier than mine. And then he puts his hand on Colwyn's leg, and we see his true intentions. Now, what I told you was I know how to find it, and that's by seeking the vision of the blind emerald seer. Oh, there's like another wizard? Yes, and I can get us there. Here, come. And when I say come, you better come. Now come. So we got a little montage of them on a journey, and it's like Blue Ridge Mountains, West Virginia. And now they're camping at like a beautiful little lagoon, and they're like, you know what? This sucks, and what we're going through. But I'm glad I'm here with you, man. Yeah. Me too. You smell pretty good too. And then there's a giant fucking red fireball flying through the forest, and it almost fucking blows their faces off, and it crashes into the water. And they're like, whoa! And then our comic relief actor rises out of the water, and he's like, oh, Jesus Christ, I'm drowning! I'm drowning, help me! And they're like, staring at him. It was a man. He was a fireball a minute ago, okay? Like, who the fuck are you? And he's like, oh, where are we? We're in a forest, in the fucking, Black Mountains. I don't fucking know. And he's like, oh, Jesus, 1,000 miles off course. Well, I was rushed. There was a difference of opinion over a matter of a gooseberry pie. The man left it on his windowsill. What did he expect? Colwyn's like, to eat it. You.
Damn.
You, for that rudeness, I'll turn you into a bat. Yes. Might teach you some manners hanging upside down for a while. And he starts going through his, papers that are, I guess, his spells, because he's a wizard. He's like, no, that's a recipe for hot fudge sauce. Oh, well, a goose will have to do. And then he points his fingers at Colwyn, and he goes, fat and ugly. And Ear looks at Colwyn. He's like, don't worry, the hill people, they're not able to actually do any harm. And then the wizard is like, oh, we'll see about that, old man. Boom! And he launches his spell, and he himself turns into a fucking goose. And it's like, what the fuck? And then Colwyn's like, very fat, very ugly. And then the goose talks.
Well, then you see what I could have done to you if I were a vengeful man.
Then he turns back into a human, and he's like, fuck this, I'm fucking leaving. Hey, wait, man, the forest, it's not safe. You best travel with us. I am looking for well-hung men. Me? Travel with you? Do you know who I am? No, man. What? I am Ergo the Magnificent, short in stature, tall in power, narrow of purpose, and wide of vision. You remember that, Chris?
No.
I used to say that shit to you as a kid, and you would be like, man, how do you remember stuff? Someday we'll make a show out of that. And here we are. Anyway, I do not travel with peasants and queers. Goodbye. Colwyn and Anir look at each other like, wow, all right. Ergo runs into the forest like, fuck this. He runs right into a fucking cyclops.
Oh.
Big, giant, one-eyed monster.
Damn.
And he's like, oh, and he just turns around and runs away. The cyclops was just standing in the dark, staring at him. Wait for me! I have urgent business in this direction. Well, what's that? Staying alive. Back at the Black Fortress. We see that shit disappear from a nice flowery valley or whatever and shows up in a fucking ice cave. It's like, damn, that shit. Man, that was a good idea.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, man, a lot of love went into this movie for it to have been so badly received. The Beast is talking to Lissa again, and he's like, I will allow you to go wherever you please within these walls. This is the palace from which you will rule this world and countless others. And she's like, why am I saying no to this? This sounds like the sweetest deal ever. And he shows her a shining crown. You cannot escape me. You will be my queen. And she just fucking runs away. All right. Now we come to my absolute favorite scene in this film. This is like a crown jewel from my childhood. I think this scene makes the movie for me, personally. I mean, this scene is my absolute treasure. So we got Colwyn, In-Ear, and Ergo. And they walk into this like dark, rocky, like stone quarry or something like that. It's just like nothing but rocks. But it's very enclosed. It's very sound stagey. You can see that most of the rocks are actually carved out of styrofoam and painted, but it really doesn't fucking matter at all. And Ergo's like, well, you're no great chooser of roads, old man. In fact, I'd say you suck. Going this way will save half a day's journey. As they're walking and talking, we see there are men in this quarry, okay? And they're like hiding behind the rocks and like watching them. And it's like, whoa, shit. You guys better look out behind you. There's a bee's nest. Our three heroes, they figure out that there's guys watching them. And Ergo looks at Colwyn and he's like, robbers. Colwyn, fucking great guy. He just goes, they're men. Okay? We don't know yet whether they're robbers. Oh, men as ugly as this can only be robbers. Don't worry, I'll turn them all into pigs. And then he like walks away going through his fucking spell sheets. And he's doing that when these guys fucking attack. Two of them have axes and they like throw them. The axes meet and clang together. And then they hit the ground and Ergo has already accidentally turned himself into a fucking pig. And he's like, wee, wee. So these guys, they got axes and swords and shit. And they're like, one of them's got a whip. So throughout all the chaos, you hear like, yeah, loud. Colwyn's like, oh shit. And he like jumps down behind a rock. He's like, taking some cover. It's all right. One of these guys yells out, you're surrounded by 100 men. Colwyn just fucking smiles. And he's like, 100's not enough. And then the guy who was talking stands up. And ladies and gentlemen, I give you the great Alan Armstrong. Yeah. The chief from Split Second. And he's got shaggy hair. He's wearing a fucking choker with like 3-inch nails all coming out from all around it. It's like, man, do not move your head. That is how fucking badass you are. And he stands up and he's like, well, what have we here? A fighter. You guys know who Robbie Coltrane is?
Yes.
He's there. And he's like, got a buzz cut. And he's weird looking. He's like, oh, come on, Alan, let's just kill him. Shut up, Robbie. I don't kill a man without good reason. Colwyn's like, nor do I. And be thankful for it. Besides, you're short about 90 men. And, he has a pretty good laugh at that. Behind Colwyn, out walks a 30-year-old Liam Neeson.
Oh, yeah.
And he's got, like, a little braid coming down behind his ear. Like in fucking Star Wars. And he just waves at Colwyn. As he's waving, we see that he's got manacles on his wrists. And, like, the chains have been cut. Colwyn looks around, sees all of them are wearing them. And he's like, you're escaped prisoners. Aye, everyone. Thieves, bandits, fighters, and brawlers. Colwyn's like, desperate men. Desperate as you'll ever see. Ah, good. Those are the kind of men I need. You need? And he gets down, and he looks at Colwyn, and he's like, now see, these men follow no man but me, and I follow no man at all. What would you follow a king then? Ha 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 ha! A king? Ah! Many lunatics wandering through the countryside claiming to be kings, eh? Would you follow a king to the Black Fortress? Now I know you're a lunatic. I wouldn't follow my own father to the Black Fortress. Not that he'd be foolish enough to try. This does not fucking faze Colwyn. He is in recruitment mode. He needs big dick men. And he just goes, is it foolish to defend your world? To fight for your homes and families? If the invaders conquer, you'll be slaves with the rest of us. Liam Neeson chimes in. And he's like, noble sentiments, yes. But we fight for profit, you know what I mean? And he like rubs his fingers together like, give me some money. Yeah, well, the profit's freedom and fame. It's like, this guy's good.
Yeah.
Now, this is really the big moment for me, is when Alan Armstrong responds to this. He's like, ha, freedom. But we have it. And fame. Now that's an empty purse. Count it. Go broke. Eat it. Go hungry. Seek it and go mad. And then Freddie Jones ruins the whole thing with his Shakespearean overacting. And he's like, that is true. But this freedom and fame you can leave to your sons. Alan looks at him like, motherfucker. And he gets down and fucking walks up into his face and he goes, how did you know I had sons? And it's like, oh yeah, well, he is like a wise old wizard type guy. Coleman's like, if the Slayers conquer Krull, your sons will be enslaved forever. And then another one of these prisoners jumps down and it's like a boy, like maybe like 20 years old. He's got a much deeper voice than you would expect. And he walks up to Coleman and he's like, I have no sons, but I will go with you. And everybody fucking starts laughing at him like, what are you doing, bitch? Coleman looks around and he's like, the boy shames you all. And then he pulls off the amulet from his father, reaches onto the back of it and pulls out a key and starts to unlock this kid's manacles. Alan looks at it like, what the fuck? He walks up to watch him and he says, only the king and the Lord Marshal have the keys to these manacles. Coleman just smiles at him. You don't look like a Lord Marshal. No. You look about the right age to be Tuttle's son. The exact age. Alan's like, Jesus, I can't believe what's happening here. And he walks away and he's like, Alan, you're growing old, your brains are softening. And then Coleman just tosses the key to him. 9 men like you are worth an army. And he smiles. And then Alan, like, he's got the key. He's looking back at him, looks around at all of his buddies. And then he tosses the key back. He's fucking looking at him. And man, he is just so earnest in this scene. That's what I love about him. If we succeed, unlock them. Otherwise, I'll die with them. And everybody's like, oh, shit. And he looks at all of his buddies and he just goes, well, you heard him. We are now an army. And then Robbie Coltrane just goes like, yeah, an unpaid army. You got a fucking problem, Robbie. Look, can't a man even talk to himself without being interrupted? Let's go, saddle up. So they are all like, we're men, manly men. We're men in tights, tights. They're like, yeah, let's do it, baby. They all ride off and we see the Cyclops watching them from the darkness. Mm-hmm. And he's a Cyclops with like nice hair. So now they're journeying through the forest. And Ergo, who's like, always thinking about food. He sees gooseberries. He sees a bush of them and he like stops, gets off his horse, and he's going to pick some gooseberries.
I got to be honest. When I was a kid watching this, every time I heard him say gooseberries, I was like, I hate this motherfucker. I hated it.
Gooseberry.
I couldn't stand him.
Gooseberries?
Always with the gooseberries.
You know, you could use an Ergo the Magnificent. Everybody kind of rides on and, let him eat his gooseberries. So he's like stuffing his face. Then he looks off in the distance. Standing completely still off in the bushes is a Slayer. Just like standing there, watching. And he's like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ, you guys! Right then, the Cyclops like comes running out and just throws his fucking spear. Kind of throws it right at Ergo, who then just fucking faints. But the spear goes and hits the Slayer. And it's like, and dies. All the guys are like, oh, holy shit, something's happening back there. They come back and help, and the Cyclops has already like ran away and hidden. He just likes to watch. Ergo wakes up and he's like, holy shit, it was a one-eyed monster. And here's like, a Cyclops. Yes. Long ago, his ancestors, they had 2 eyes like other men. Then they made a bargain with the beast. They gave up one of their eyes in exchange for the power to see the future. But they were cheated. And the only future they can see is the moment of their own death. And it's like, damn. They're sad creatures, born to know the day they'll die. Today would have been my day if it hadn't been for him. And, they move on. Now they're going to see the Emerald Blind Seer or whatever. And he was like, we 3 will go on. The rest of you stay here. Ergo is like, we fall. I'm not going to stay with these fucking criminals. I'll get raped. And so, Colwyn, Anir, Alan Armstrong, and Ergo, they all go to see this blind seer. And they're walking, and then they just come upon like a flat rock face. And Alan's like, what? Hidden away in his, little emerald cave is the blind seer. And he can tell that there's 4 men coming to visit him. And he just opens the gate. So a green glowing gate just opens up in the rock face. And they're like, oh, shit, all right. Well, fucking go in. They go in there, and it's just a fucking cave full of emeralds. And like a little old man that lives there with like a 10-year-old boy. Like, what is going on? Like, you see this, and you're like, whoa. Like, neither of them is fit to care for the other.
Hollywood, man.
Yeah, jeez. Anir goes up to the old blind seer, who is indeed an old blind seer.
He's like, got his eyes closed and he's got long white hair.
He's like, old friend, we need to find the Black Fortress.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to do, like with my day, so I will seek it for you.
And he's got this giant emerald in front of him, and it's like his crystal ball, but he like levitates it up and it starts spinning. While he's doing all this shit, Ergo is like sitting in the background, and he like looks at the little boy, and he's like, got any sugar balls? I'm not making that up. No. Gumdrops? No. What kind of a boy are you? Boys always have candy. I have a cinnamon bar. And he like holds up some weird thing that looks like poop. And then he pulls a little piece of it off to give that small piece to Ergo, who then grabs the big piece. And he goes, share and share alike. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm Ergo the Magnificent. And he goes through his whole introduction. Oh, that's impressive. What's your name? My name is Tit. Tit. Okay. It's not impressive, but adequate. So the seer's spinning his emerald, and he's like, yeah, I can see the fortress. And like, we see a vision of it in the center of the room. And then he's like, yes, it's going to be, in the Valley of the Breasts. And then all of a sudden, this big, giant, evil fucking hand comes up into the vision and crushes the emerald. It fucking explodes, and everybody's like, oh shit! Because it's like flying shards of goddamn emeralds,
Yeah.
You ruined it. You ruined it, and I'm leaving.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, his power is too great, the beast. The beast says you guys have to fuck off. But if I go to the Emerald Temple, which is another place far away, the beast cannot touch me there. So I can find the fortress.
Okay, all right, sweet. Let's go there. Will you come with us? You're like 90 years old. So I don't really know how we're going to make it happen. But I got a can-do attitude. So let's fucking do this, old man. What do we need to do?
Yes, I will go with you, and the boy too. Tit, let's go. It is in the great swamp. It's dangerous.
Our need is very great and dangerous. So it cuts to them in the swamp, which is, basically just a foggy forest. And the ground you can tell is just covered in shredded cork. To make it look swampy. Now back in the Emerald Cave, Alan was like, it's an emerald cave. And he starts chipping emeralds off. And he had them in his pocket. So now they're walking through the swamp, and he hands them to Liam Neeson. He's like, check this shit out. Look at the profit of this journey. Liam looks at him, and now they're just like gray rocks. And he's like, what the fuck? They were emeralds. God damn it, they were emeralds. Up ahead, the seer, who is blind and just like walking with everybody, he just laughs like,
you fucking dumbass.
Anir, who is, walking ahead of the group, he stops and he's looking around like, something might be wrong. And then, this fucking slayers start like rising up out of the water, and they're like walking out of the mist, and it's like, oh man, we are fucking being attacked. But the slayers, now they're like, coming in slow. Like, no more of this, fuck yeah! Like, they know they've got them. It's pretty cool, and that's like what makes it a little scary.
Yeah.
Slayers! And then they have a big fucking battle. Ping, ping, ping. Whoopsh, whoopsh. The little boy, Tit, is like, oh, Jesus. And he's got a little staff with bells on it or whatever. He is not a fighter. So Ergo actually saves his life from one of the Slayers. And then in fucking runs the Cyclops. And he's like, roar, and he's fucking fighting these Slayers. And he's like throwing his spear, which has like 3 spearheads on it. It's pretty cool. And he ends up saving Ergo's life. And, the Slayers fear the Cyclops. They like actively, whoa, holy shit. They back away from him. Everybody's fighting and shit. Alan Armstrong is like up in a tree and he's like, Colwyn! Colwyn like looks up. Oh shit, I jump out of the way. And then he like swings the axe down into the fucking Slayer head and it's like, and the little bug like crawls away. And then all of a sudden, there is only one Slayer left and all of the group like are surrounding him. And he doesn't speak because they don't, but he's like, shit. And he's got his lance in his hand, but he kind of like ting against one of the swords. Like, I feel like I shouldn't give up. So they're about to kill him, but we cut away to Ergo, who is now face to face with the Cyclops. And he's like, I am Ergo. And the Cyclops goes, the Magnificent. He's like, oh, Jesus. And Tit is like, his name is Rel. So it turns out that Rel and Tit are kind of friends already because Rel comes and visits the seer sometimes. It's like, that's the second time you've saved my life.
Well, yes, you saved the boy.
Well, yes, that's what friends do. Colwyn now joins the party. He's like, holy shit, fucking Cyclops. Walks up to him. He's like, hey, I'm Colwyn, and you want to hang out? Join us. All men need company. And then Rel's like, yes, all men. And it's like, gay? Anyway, they go and they're walking. And Ergo is like, talking up a storm with Rel and fucking Tit. And he's like, if I could wish for anything, I would wish for a gooseberry pie, a huge one, not as big as a mountain. Well, now this maybe some greedy, but, at least as big as a house. What about you, Tit? What would you wish for?
I'd wish for a puppy.
Only one? Why not like 100?
I only want one.
That's a foolish wish. So he's like, fuck you, kid. What about you, Rel? What would you wish for? And Rel just goes, ignorance. And it's like, oh yeah, he knows when he's going to die. That'd be kind of a shit life. Cutting to the Black Fortress, we got Lissa, who's still running around the hallways. It's all fucking weird looking, She like runs into some Slayers that are like white, like the Imperial Slayers, the Palace Guard. And the Beast is like,
hey, I'll show you a crown again.
She's like, no! She runs down this hallway, and then the walls behind her start closing in. Now, they don't close in mechanically. They look like a giant butt whose cheeks are like closing. She has to escape the butt. I'm serious. Watch this movie. It is a butt. She runs into the Beast, and we just see like some of his features, like a big red eye and like a pulsating sack. Back in the swamp, all the gang is like, yeah, all right, we took on some Slayers. Fuck yeah. Why is the ground sinking? So they start sinking down in the ground. It's fucking quicksand. Holy shit. And the seer is like,
it is the power of the Beast.
Ergo's like, okay, old man, why don't you sit down while I go and help my friends? So he sits him down. He's there alone. Okay. And then all the guys, they are sinking into the fucking ground. It's like shit. All right. Like this is dangerous. They're like, come on, we got to get him out. They form a human chain to like help pull everybody out. They're like, pull. And then one guy is too far away. And he's like, struggling. Everybody gets pulled out except for that dude. And then Colwyn sees him. He's like, all right, now I'll lead the chain in. And so he like
dives into the fucking quicksand. He's got everybody, you know, they're all holding on to him. And he's like, come on, reach, stretch. He actually gets this guy by the hand. And he's like, all right, come on, pull. And then he fucking loses grip. And the guy sinks down under the fucking quicksand. And as a fucking last kick in the fucking nuts, he's totally sunken. And we're like, oh shit, he's drowning. He's going to die. Then his hand comes up for like one last reminder that you could have probably done better. And man, it is sad as fuck. At that point, we got the seer, and he's like an old blind man. And now there is a fucking second seer behind him, like walking up behind him.
Oh.
And he opens up his eyes, and they're black. The good seer is like, is that you, tit? Now the bad seer like grows some claws from his fingers, and he kills that fucker. So the good seer is fucking dead now. And there is a doppelganger has taken his place.
Damn.
Yeah. Anir walks up to him, and he's like, hey, all right, come on. Let's go. Thank you. Coleman's like, you know what? Anir, why don't you let me lead him? It's okay. Come on. He puts the seer's hand on his shoulder. He's like, let's go.
Oh, yes, thank you, brother.
And it's like, uh-oh. And then Alan Armstrong walks up. He's like, I'll lead him. You go ahead, Colwyn. So now he's leading the seer. And the seer like opens his black eyes like, God damn it. I fucking had him. And they go deeper into the swamp. Now Rel stayed behind to make sure that they weren't being followed by any more slayers.
So he's just like hanging out with his one eye and good hair. And then some shit starts bubbling to his right. He looks over and
The seer's body floats up out of the quicksand. And he's like,
oh, holy Jesus Christ.
they're in the middle of the swamp, and the bad seer is like,
Colwyn, you must lead me. No one else may approach.
and he's like, yeah, okay. I don't know why nobody else can come, but it's cool. I trust you. So they start walking off into the fog. Now we see Rel is like running full tilt to catch up with everybody. Once they're alone, the bad seer grows his claws out of his fingers, and he's like, here is the knowledge you seek! And he like grabs Colwyn by the fucking neck, and he like starts jerking it. Colwyn's like, ah! Rel shows up and throws his fucking 3-pronged spear, goes right into this fucking bad seer's back, and he just goes like, and he dies like differently than the slayers. Like his face turns black and it like bubbles out. It's all fucking weird, man.
It looked great.
Yeah,
It was scary.
It was beautiful. Even though he is obviously dying, Colwyn like stabs him. He sinks down into the ground, and everybody's like, man, what the fuck? Inir's like, the beast has many weapons. This is one of them. A changeling. Rel's like,
Yep, I saw it. The body came up, so, I came to save you.
the boy is like sad as fuck. Remember? Like, that's his man.
Yeah.
Coleman's like, it's okay, man. He gave his life for us.
He was my only family.
We're your family now. And it's like, hey,
Yeah.
all right. Ergo's like, damn, son. Puts his arm around Tit's shoulder. He's like, come on, man. Colwyn goes to Inir and he's like, dude, what the fuck are we supposed to do now? We got to find the fucking Black Fortress. We're not all just, hanging out, sucking dicks. There is one other who might help. Who? The Widow of the Web. Alan's like, that creature helps no one.
Shut up! You don't know nothing about anything.
She'll kill you, old man. No, she won't kill me. I know her name. Her name is Death. She had another name once, an ancient, powerful name. My risk is no greater than yours. I must try. And everybody's like, why are you getting all emotional, man? Like, I think our risk is greater than yours. I don't get it. It's a weird line. So now they're on a journey again, and they're, walking through the grass and everything. Ergo runs off behind a tree, turns himself into a puppy, and then comes running back up to Tit.
Oh.
Conditioning. That's a child lure.
Oh, no.
It certainly
Ergo.
is. Yeah. And Tit's like, hey, puppy, come here, puppy. Yeah. He drops his staff. Like, the movie takes time to show Rel.
Pick up the boy's staff for him. He's having a hard time.
Oh.
Colwyn looks over at this fucking dog, and he's like, where's Ergo? And the boy's like, he looks down at the dog, figures out what's happening, and he goes, he'll be back soon. And then Ken Marshall just gives this awesome fucking smile. He's just like, yeah. Ergo's a good guy. I'm a good guy. We're all fucking great guys. So they're journeying and it's happy music. And then they get to this big giant forest. And Anir is like, now I must go alone. No, I'll come with you. No. If two approach, the widow will certainly kill both. Alan looks at him and he's like, each to his fate, Corwin. Yes, each to his fate. And then Anir looks down at the glaive, which, is still a thing, just so you know. If I'm not back by morning, you will know my fate. The puppy runs off and comes back as human Ergo. And Rel, sees him and he's like, oh, yeah, look at you. Ergo's like, I still think it's a foolish wish. But, child. All right, let's camp here, you guys. Coleman's like, hey, the men, they're too tired to hunt. I don't know what the fuck we're going to eat. Turns out Liam Neeson has 7 or 8 wives all over the world of Krull. And they're like, hey, don't you have a wife that lives in a village near here? And he's like, oh, yeah. Merith. Can she cook? Nope. Yeah, well, tell her to bring provisions. The Magnificent here says he can cook, so we will see. And then it just cuts to Ergo the Magnificent cooking chicken in balls of mud under the fire. And he's cracking open the dried mud balls, and there's fucking chicken in it. I don't know, it's weird.
What the fuck?
It's a thing, all right? So they're all eating, and Liam Neeson is over there section up this wife. And there's a shy little sexy blonde girl serving mud chicken. And Liam's like, who's the girl? And his wife is like, you fuck off. She's just some girl. I hired her. She's hanging around. Now we see that girl bring some food up to Colwyn. And she's like, some food, sir. He's like, no, none for me. I'm not hungry. Please, for me. And then Colwyn is like, yeah, all right, fine. And there's a shot of him just sitting there eating a piece of chicken, thinking. And it's weird. It's almost hypnotic. I don't know. It's strange. He's obviously eating a piece of white meat chicken. And he's just chewing it.
He loves watching him eat chicken, too.
Yeah. It's very strange. Back in the Black Fortress with Lissa, she's walking around another fucking weird-ass room. Now she's standing in a giant stone hand. And she's just like, oh, Jesus. What am I doing here? Then she looks over. She sees a fucking window to the outside world. And she's like, oh, what? She starts running towards it yay! She goes into this room, and then the door locks behind her. And the beast is like, ho, ho, ho. Your kingdom, it's shit. I mean, all right, look, I gotta be honest. Your whole planet is just garbage to me. He's talking to her and she's like, but what about love? Love is fleeting. Power is eternal. And then he materializes a gold dress onto her. And, a big claw hand rises out of the floor, catches on fire, and then burns away, and there's a big rose sitting there. And it's just what? Man, this guy is awesome. And he's standing there looking at her with his big red eye. And he's like, such is my power. It can be yours. She's like, I don't want your power. Do not let my form frighten you. Then behind her is an evil, red-eyed doppelganger of Colwyn. And he's fresh looking and showered. But he's got evil red eyes. And he's just looking at her and smiling. And he's like, Lissa. And she's like, oh, holy shit, Colwyn, when did you get here? And he's like, I can assume any form I wish. Any form you wish. She's like,
No, there's no love in that form.
Is this your man?
Play that shit again.
Is this your man?
Yeah, motherfucker.
And you think there's love in your boy king?
And then he shows her a vision of Colwyn, what he's doing right now. Okay, remember he was just eating chicken.
Mm-hmm.
And we see Colwyn and that young blonde girl, and they're like embracing. And it's like, he is about to cheat on her.
Yeah.
And she has taken off her cloak, and we see some skin now. So Lissa is like, wait, what? And we hear the blonde lady say, I've not held a man since my lover left. I had the yeast. Lissa's like, this is a lie.
He will betray you. He's gonna fuck her.
No, he will not.
Then he will die.
So back in the vision, the blonde's like, will you comfort me for one night? And Colwyn, who like still has his arms around the girl, is just like, oh, jeez. I cannot betray my bride. Then let me comfort you. I cannot. And then her eyes go black and she grows claws. She's like, my master said to make him betray her, if not kill him. And then Colwyn's like, oh, Jesus. And he like jumps out of her embrace. Okay. Like, well, what the hell was he doing?
Yeah, really.
They're trying to make her feel better, but like, just the tip. It's not cheating.
She's like, yes, he is my master. These talons, they were a heartbeat away from your throat. I could have killed you. And Colwyn's like, yeah. I mean, what? And she's like, but I loved you. Like, you could have had some of this. I know I'm a fucking monster, but And she looks at him, she's just like, remember me. And he's like, yeah, okay. And then the beast watching this is like, you bitch, I give you one job. And then he just like waves his hand in the air and the lady just dies. And she's like, Wah! Lissa looks at the beast. She's like, ha ha, see, 'tis you who were betrayed.
Listen, I'll make you a deal. If you fuck me, I will stop the Slayers. Okay? They will stop killing everybody on your planet. So the choice is yours, and if the longer you wait, all right, the more innocent people are going to die.
And she just goes, hurry, Colwyn. I don't know how much longer I can hold out. Now it cuts to In-Ear, and he has reached his destination because he went off by himself while they were all having chicken.
All right.
And he comes to a cave. Inside the cave is a giant fucking spider nest, okay? And there's like this ball in the center where the spider is supposed to live, I guess.
Yeah.
And then there's all these webs that are suspending it in the center of this big giant cavern.
Mm-hmm.
This is a weird part of the movie.
Yeah, it is. And he comes in there and he looks and he just yells out,
I seek the widow.
And now we see inside that little center ball is a little old lady. And she's in there just living. Just spanning time. And she turns her head a little bit and we don't see her face. She's all shrouded in webs. And she's like, enter here and die. Now In-Ear has to try to climb out to go into that little ball thing. Every time he touches a web, it like jingles like chimes and shit. It's really fucking loud too. Ding, 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 ding. Once that happens, yep, a giant fucking spider starts coming into the cave.
Like, you want some of this?
And it is done with claymation. But it's not just a white spider. Like, a spider's butt. It's a big ball.
Yeah.
It's actually clear. And like inside of it, like you can see like his red stomach and shit. I don't know. It's fucking cool looking though. In-Ear sees it coming and he's like, oh fuck. And then he just calls out to this lady, this widow with a web, and he's like, Lissa! Lissa! Who speaks that name?
It is I! In here!
The old lady's like, oh Jesus, it's In-Ear.
She goes, I give you this time. She's got a big giant hourglass. She turns it over. All the sand starts running out. And the spider like stops in his tracks. So he's got just that much time to get into the fucking web ball.
Mm-hmm.
The egg sack. So he's like, I gotta hurry the fuck up. And then there's like a big faraway shot. And you're like, yeah, it's probably still impossible. He's climbing and he sees like a skeleton buried in the webs. And he's like, Jesus, why am I doing this? He ends up falling and then grabbing some web and swinging. And he makes it into the egg sack just in time. In there is the old woman shrouded in webs. And he was like, Lisa, there's my baby. I was young the last time I heard that name.
And I was young when I spoke it.
I was fucking hot, too.
Yeah, you were. Man, that ass.
Why did you leave me?
Listen, I had responsibility. Duty.
She's like, ambition. Yeah. You had a son, you know. We had a son.
But, you said nothing. Where is he?
I killed him when he was born. And this is my punishment. And it's like, what the fuck?
Fucking serious.
Yeah, dude. Since I couldn't kill you, my rage needed a victim. Like, Jesus.
Yeah.
I know you can never forgive me.
I can never forgive myself. But I have already forgiven you.
How can you forgive a woman who killed your son?
If I haven't, could I see you now as I did?
And then we see her reflection in a mirror is a young lady. And it is Francesca Annis, Lady Jessica from Dune. So it's like, oh, holy shit, crush number 2. And she looks and she sees her reflection from his viewpoint, you know, and she's like, oh, Jesus Christ, I was hot. And he's like, how could I have left you? And she says, your vision, it is your gift to me.
And your vision can be your gift to me.
What? What is it? What can I see for you?
The Black Fortress. I need to know where it is.
Tomorrow morning, in the Iron Desert, is where the Black Fortress will be. But it's useless. You can't leave here. No one has ever escaped this fucking web. Okay? Yeah, there's a giant spider outside.
There is a young girl trapped in the fortress. She has your name. If we don't help her, she'll die. The whole world will die if we don't defeat the beast.
She's like, I can't help. And it's like, well, you know, you stopped the spider with the hourglass. Okay, so can you do that again? And she's like, no, the hourglass can only be turned once. That's the law of the web.
Well, then I guess the world dies. And Lissa, the other Lissa, she'll die.
And then the woman is like, you know what? Okay. She holds up the hourglass. She's like, these are the sands of my life. If you accept them, then the spider can't harm you, but your own life runs out with the sand. And he's like, what about your life? I give it to the girl who bears my name. And then she breaks the fucking hourglass and she pours the sand into Inir's hand. And he's got to hold the sand in his hand, okay, while he climbs back out across the fucking cavern. And he's like, okay, thanks. He just leaves. Like, he doesn't kiss her or nothing like that, you know? Kind of fucked up, I thought. So he's climbing out there, and the spider's like, yeah, okay. I'm going to get you now. It comes up, and he, like, holds up the sand and, like, pours a little bit out of his hand. And the spider's like, oh, okay, I get it. You got the sand. I can't hurt you, okay. So he ends up getting out, and he takes one last look back at the egg sack. And there's the little old lady sitting inside. And the giant spider is breaking his way in, and he's going to fucking kill her.
Yeah.
So it cuts to him, like, making it back to camp. And he is almost dead because, you know, the sand is falling out of his palm. Mm-hmm. He shows up, and he's like, the Black Fortress will be in the Iron Desert tomorrow morning. And then he falls. Now, as he falls, he breaks one of the styrofoam rocks that he was standing on. And they had no choice but to keep it in the movie. Colwyn runs to him and he's like, oh shit, man, you're dying. Okay, I'll hold you in my arms. You must reach it. My race is run. And the sand just like completely runs out of his hand. He looks at Coleman, says one last thing to him. Use your power wisely. Do not squander it. I learned my power from you. And I don't know when that happened. And then Anir fucking dies. So Coleman's like, damn, man, I guess we'll bury him here. He looks at Alan and he's like, the Iron Desert's 1,000 fucking leagues from here. Rel says, fire mares. Like, what? Fire mares. They can make it in a day. There's time. There's time if we move quickly. So we cut to this sunny valley, okay? And we just hear this fucking thunderous sound, okay? And it's like, what the hell's going on? And now we see these fire mares, these fucking horses, all right? And they're giant fucking Clydesdales. And there's like a herd of them running through the forest. And the whole gang is there like hiding and waiting. Like, okay, we got to catch a horse, you guys. Everybody's got to catch one, okay? Colwyn like pulls out a rope. Yeah, let's do this. He looks over at Rel, the Cyclops, who just like nods at him. Yeah, baby. So then the horses show up and they're like, all right, come on, let's get them. And they're like roping them and scaring them, you know. One guy's like, whoosh, whoosh, like whip them. Rel yells out, the gray is the leader. So of course, Colwyn catches the gray one, you know. Mm-hmm. There's this one dude, he like jumps off of a rock, lands on one of them, and then falls off. And while you're watching this, it's like, you realize this was probably pretty scary for these actors when they were filming this. Because there are all these huge Clydesdales, and they are like running all around these people. At one point, Alan and Colwyn are each like being dragged across the ground by these fucking horses. Anyway, they finally get a whole bunch of them, okay? And they're like, saddle them up quickly, let's go, let's go. And they're all, woohoo, we did it, yeah! Then there's Ergo and the boy Tit. And they're like, man, fuck. And we can't do this. They end up riding on other horses with everybody else. So it's time for them to leave, and Rel is not on a horse. He's just standing there with the other horses they didn't catch. And Liam Neeson says to Tit, why is he staying? It's his time to die. Well, if it's his time to die, like, why doesn't he just come with us anyway? And he must accept his fate. If he opposes it, he'll bring great pain upon himself. Rel finds Colwyn, and he's like, I must remain. Is it time? Yes. All right, Rel. You've done enough. Each to his fate.
Yes. Each to his fate.
Ergo walks up to him. He's like, man, seriously? We had no time. Like, we could have been together. Anyway, fuck that shit, because it is time to ride. And they're like riding these giant Clydesdales down the fucking landscape, you know, and they're like, yeah, all right. And they're running like fucking fast, okay? They're running so fast, you guys, that there is fire coming out of these horses' feet, you know? And so, obviously, that's why they're called the fire mares. They're like, hold on, woohoo! And it's like, da-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na. And one guy, like, stands up on his horse's back, like, yeah, check this shit out, you guys! They're running across the land, and, you know, everybody is happy as shit. It starts getting dark, and now there's a cliff coming up, and they're riding towards that cliff. And then they ride right the fuck off of it, and off through the air. These fucking horses run so fast, they fly. Wow. Yeah, man. As a kid, I was like, oh my God. Awesomeness overload. Holy shit, there it is! The Black Fortress! Dun, dun, dun. We have arrived, baby. Oh. Coleman's like, oh, holy shit, look at that. The sun's rising. It's almost dawn. The fucking thing's gonna disappear. We gotta get in there before the sun comes up. So they're like, all right. And they get to the base of it, okay? And it's all like craggy and rocky. And they gotta climb the shit. So they all start climbing this thing, and the music is like, you'd better not fuck up. They're still climbing, and Ergo actually like sits down to eat. And then some fucking rocks like start sliding to the side, and it turns out they're doors, and there are slayers in there. And they're the white ones, you know, the guards, okay? And they start fucking shooting lasers at these guys. And they're like, oh shit, everybody hide.
And they get pinned down. So they're kind of fucked. They can't go any farther. Shit, what are we going to do? Now we see off in the distance a single trail of fire coming across the land towards the castle. And it's like, holy shit, it's fucking Krull. Oh. He's on a fire mare and he's coming. He's coming. He has opposed his fate. So as we know, great pain will be thrust upon him.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting shot at. Robbie Coltrane fucking takes one in the back. Oh, God. He slams down. Colwyn runs up and holds him. That's what he does. Robbie's like, I was wrong. This quest, it was worthwhile. It was. Finish it for me. And then he takes another laser blast to the back of his fucking head. And he just fucking dies very violently in Colwyn's arms. Colwyn and Alan. These are our two main men, Come on, we gotta rush them. No, we'll be picked off. Oh, holy shit, Colwyn, look at that. It's Krull. And Rel's like, climbing up the mountain. Let's do this. He's coming. Krull gets up there and just walks right past Colwyn. Doesn't even fucking say anything to him. He's just, I got this. He goes up to the fucking Slayers and they start backing off. Like, they are scared of this asshole.
Wow.
They shoot him and it does nothing to him. Like, it damages him. He takes the shot, but he's so big and tough that he just like fucking takes it. Then Colwyn's like, holy shit, you guys, follow him. Operation Get Behind the Cyclops. So Krull gets up there and he takes care of business, kills these fuckers. And now the sun is coming up. So all the doors start closing. Like the Slayers are like, okay, time's up. Let's get back inside so we can teleport. So this one door starts fucking closing and it is stone. Okay.
Yeah.
Krull, fucking badass motherfucker, just like, boom, puts his hands on either side and fucking holds that shit open long enough for the whole gang to get through.
Wow.
Colwyn's like, come on, everybody, get inside. Let's go. Now you. Like, here, mind the boy. And now Krull, these doors, they're getting pretty tight. Okay. They are closing in. And he's like, oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. You guys. Alan, come on, put your axe in the opening. He tries to like prop the door open with his axe. And nope, it's not working. As this is happening, Krull is now basically almost crushed in the door, and he actually says, it's no use. It's no use. And then, like, he's just about fucking crushed completely when you also hear him say, my time is up. And then, it fucking crushes him, dude.
He's such a great...
Ow! My eye! Ow! Ow!
No, but he was such a great character.
Yeah, man. Slayers are moving in. They gotta fucking run. Alan's like, doing somersaults across the room, dodging laser fires. Fucking cool. They're going, and it just looks like they're in a giant cave. That's what this castle looks like on the inside. Caves, butts, hands, and eyes. They run across this giant bridge, and like up above the bridge is like 3 Slayers that are hanging out talking. Okay, they're not talking. They're just at their posts, and they're like, pew, 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 shooting at them from like really high up. Anyway, one guy still ends up getting shot, and he like falls off of the bridge. They're going through all these hallways, and now they're all like super smooth. Like, you could slide down them. It's fucking weird looking. A Slayer shows up behind Alan, and he is about to fucking shoot him when Liam Neeson is like, watch out! And he pushes him out, and then takes the shot. Boom! He fucking goes down. Alan, like, reaches down. He's like, oh, holy shit, man. Thanks. Somebody else kills the Slayer. And he's like, come on, man. You're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. No. My traveling days are over, my friend. No, come on. We're going to get you out. No. Here's where I stay. And Alan Armstrong just watches his friend die.
Oh.
And he looks up at Colwyn like, this is kind of your fault. And Colwyn just like looks down like, yep. Sorry, man. Alan's like, all right, lead on. So they just leave Liam Neeson's body there. They're walking down a smooth, slick corridor, and all of a sudden it splits open down the middle, and they fucking move away from each other. So guys start falling down into the cavern below. And it's like, oh, holy shit. Ergo and Tit fall down there. And, the other guys, they're able to climb up. But these 2 guys, they just can't make it. They're not that tough. Down in the cavern below, fucking Slayers are walking in. And Ergo is like, holy shit, get us the fuck out of here. Colwyn's like, oh shit, all right. He throws down a rope and he lowers himself down. And they're like, yep, lowering him down. And he's like, it's okay. I'll get you guys out of there. When the fucking walls start closing back together. And everybody's like, oh fuck, come on, get him up. They start pulling Colwyn up and he's like, no, wait. Alan's like, there's nothing we can do. He pulls Colwyn back up and they leave Ergo and Tit to their own devices. It had to be done. So the walls close, and it's like, Jesus, man, what a fucked up situation, you know?
Yeah.
So downstairs, these Slayers, they're closing in on Ergo and Tit when Ergo fucking turns himself into a tiger.
Oh, yeah.
And it is cool as shit. And he's like, roar! And he fucking walks up. It's a real tiger, okay? He walks up to these Slayers, and whoa, okay, you guys. They back away, and that's not enough for Ergo. He's like slashing them in the head with his big fucking paws, and they're like, one of them shoots Ergo right in his paw. He's like, roar! He fucking kills him, but he's been shot, okay? Mm-hmm. It cuts to the other guys, and they have now reached the inner sanctum. And it's like this big glowing clamshell. All right? So it opens up, and a big old dick comes out. No, I'm kidding. Nothing comes out. Doesn't open up. Colwyn stops Alan, and he's like, no. From here, I must go on alone. Yeah, but how are you going to get in there? There's no way in. Oh, there is one way. And he sheaths his sword and pulls out the glaive. Oh, and it's like, oh yeah. It's like 10 minutes of the movie left, and like, now we get the glaive. Thank fucking God. So he fucking holds it up, and like, shing, fucking blades come out, and he's like, yeah, check this shit out. He fucking throws that shit. It's just hovering there, cutting at this shell, like over and over. Bzzz, and there's like sparks flying and shit.
You didn't get penetration even with the elephant gun.
Lissa sees it on the other side, like, oh shit, something's happening. We see Tit and Ergo, and Ergo's still a tiger, okay? He's still watching over Tit. He's like, come on, Ergo, we must find the others. While Colwyn is sitting there, like, watching the glaive cutting into the wall, which is taking a pretty long time. The three guys that are left with him, they're like, hey, why don't we come and lean over on this wall here? He said he's got to go on alone. I guess we're going to hang out. They lean up on the wall, and they fall right through it. Oh, shit. They're in this weird stone room where all of these spikes start fucking coming out of the walls. And they're like, oh, shit! We see the glaive still cutting a hole in the shell. The three guys in the spike room, they're like, oh, fuck, man. Like, yeah, watch out. Don't get spiked. Okay? It's cool. The spikes are like made out of rock. And then the spikes just stop. Okay? And they're like, hey, they stopped. All right. I don't know how we're going to get out of this shit, but, at least they stopped. And then one of them is like, hey, I dropped my knife over there. I better go pick it up. He's like laying on the ground trying to crawl between the spikes. Cause you remember they've extended out from the walls now. And he's like, yep, I almost got it. And then the spikes fucking start moving again. It's like, oh shit. And he is now trapped. Like, he's got no choice. He is getting stabbed in the fucking chest. Oh. But here's the thing, is it's happening like real slow.
Oh.
So he's fucked and he dies. It's very slow and agonizing. Alan he has no choice but to just watch it happen. Because now he's been stabbed in the shoulder. He's going to be okay, but he can't fucking move. Meanwhile, the glaive has now cut through the inner sanctum shell, and Colwyn and Lissa see each other, and they're like, oh, baby. And they unite, and they're fucking hugging and kissing and fucking. Then from deeper into the sanctum, we just hear the beast go like,
is this your man?
And Colwyn's like, all right, I got the glaive. I'm going to go kill this fucker. Lissa says, no. Not here, Colwyn. You can't fight him near the center. He's too strong. Colwyn looks up. There's a whole bunch of rocks, and he's like, all right, well, then I'll just do this to him. And he fucking throws the glaive up at the rocks, and it hits the rocks, and then they all start crashing down. It actually does it like 3 or 4 times, like bury his ass real good. Ping, pang, pong. Glaive comes back, and he fucking catches it. Remember, its blades are fully extended. He just catches it like Yeah. It is smooth. It's awesome.
That's cool.
They run away. He kills some slayers with the glaive. You know, that's what we wanted to see. And then, roar! The fucking beast explodes out of the fucking inner sanctum. We now see his whole body, and he is like, he is like 20 feet tall. And he's just this big red-eyed reptile bastard. Roar! Colwyn throws the glaive, and then the beast spits this fucking white energy shit at him. Hey, bitch, come. When you were talking about that at the beginning of the episode, I was like, oh, this is coming back. Anyway, he's spitting all this glowing cum at him, and he's like, he's able to hang with Colwyn. Like they're kind of evenly matched here. He hits Colwyn twice with the cum, and like Colwyn's like, oh, Jesus, man. He throws the fucking glaive again, and it slings by the beast's arm and, like, cuts him on the way by. And the beast is like, hey. And it's flying around him, and the beast is, like, turning his head and watching it. And then it just stops, and it's hovering right in front of the beast. And he's like, oh, shit. Colwyn is just like, he's got his arm outstretched, and that's how he can control it, like, with his will, Mm-hmm. And then the beast just roars at it and spits some fucking white cum at it. It doesn't phase the glaive. It flies right into that motherfucker's chest. And he's like, roar! And he fucking goes down. And it's like big and dramatic, okay? So he falls down and he is, he's dead. He's not moving. Colwyn puts his hand out to call the glaive back, and it's like, trying to move. It's coming. It's like shaking inside of the beast's chest, and it's like, yeah, I'm coming. No, I can't. I give up. And Colwyn looks fucking heartbroken. Like, no! It's the coolest thing ever! And he's like, you know what? Nah, fuck that. I'm going in to get it. So he's like walking in to get it. The beast is dead. Lissa's like watching him walk in, and she's like, yeah, probably not a good idea. He reaches down for the glaive, and then the beast grabs it with his hand. Rah! Da-da-da-da-da-da! He's still alive. Colwyn's like, oh shit! And he fucking runs back to the two guys that are left alive in the spike room. The spikes are fucking moving again, and the walls are closing in. They're gonna fucking die. Colwyn and Lissa, they are running for their lives at this point. And he's like, I lost the glaive. God damn it, I lost the glaive. I have no way to fight him. Lissa stops him, and she's like, Colwyn, it's not the glaive. It's you. And he looks at her like, bitch, what you talking? And then he realizes what she's saying. He's like, Lissa, it's us. It's us he can't defeat. It will not return to me except from the hand of the woman I choose as my wife. And you're like, oh, shit.
Oh.
And then she looks at him. She's like, I give it only to the man whom I choose as my husband. And to be honest, it's kind of a goosebump moment for me. All right? I was like, oh, Jesus, yeah. She holds her hand up and opens it, and there's a fucking flame in her palm. And she's like, take the fire from my hand. And he fucking does. Once he does that shit, the beast is like, roar! I'm back alive! Come on, let's fuck! He starts spitting the fucking burning energy cum all over the place again, but this time, Colwyn has a fucking hand flamethrower. He can just shoot fire right out of his hand, and it shoots like far.
Awesome.
It's fucking awesome, man. And he's like, yeah, baby! And he fucking burns the beast with that shit. The beast is like, what the fuck, man? Ah! Oh, shit. And like, Colwyn's just like, come on, keep flaming, you bitch. And like, he is just like, he is roasting this asshole. He's burning alive. And we see, like, he still has the glaive in his chest. Like, it could, Jesus. And he fucking goes down. He's dying. He's burning. And it's like, ta-da, ta-da, ta-da. He finally dies. And the spikes in the room with Alan and the other kid, the spikes just like, they recede. Like everything's going backwards now.
Yeah.
So now with the beast fucking dead, the castle starts collapsing. And there's like rocks falling and shit. Everything's burning, thanks to Colwyn. We have to find the others. Come on.
So they run away. There's the dead burning beast, and there's the glaive just still buried in his chest. The whole fucking place is falling apart, and now we see Ergo and Tit, okay? And they're just like, well, sitting down. They're trapped somewhere. They don't know what to do. Tit is sitting there, and the Ergo tiger's head is like laying on his lap, and his foot is bleeding. Oh. And it's like, yeah, he's wounded. And Tit says to the tiger, I won't leave you, Ergo. And it's like, damn. Fucking walls are cracking and shit, and they're like, it's hopeless. Let's just sit here.
Oh.
Colwyn and Lissa find Alan and the other kid, who was like,
I have no sons, but I'll go with you.
and they're like, Colwyn, check it out. There's a blood trail over there. And Colwyn's like, oh shit, that must be Ergo's blood. He may be still alive. Alan fucking looks at the blood, looks around at the falling walls, and he's like, let's get out of here. Like, no, man, come on. He risked his life to save us. We can't leave him even if there's a chance. So they follow the blood, and the whole place is still fucking collapsing. And there is Tit, like sitting there with this wounded tiger, and he's just shaking his staff with the bells on it, just like jingle, 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 jingle. And it was many years of watching this movie before I realized what he was doing. He was like, we're over here, come find us. And I remember figuring that out and going like, oh shit. Everybody hears the bells and they find him. And now Ergo is a human so that they can pick him up and carry him out. So they're leaving and it's like, fucking fire, destruction, falling, crumbling shit. And they got to run across the bridge. Of course, after they get across it, it falls. So they keep running, dodging shit, okay? And then they finally get back to where they got in and it's closed. Like there's no way out, all right? And Coleman's like, stand back. And then he fucking puts his hand up. He shoots fucking fire at that wall. And it's like fucking burning and shit. Now we get this cool exterior shot and this huge plume of fire just like comes out from the front of the castle. Yeah, man, it is just cool as shit. So now they got a door and they can get out. And now they have to fucking climb back down the goddamn mountain. So it's like really fucking hard. And the place is like blowing up and shit. They finally get to the ground. They're running away from it. And they turn around and they watch it, and it's just like exploding and flying apart, but all the pieces are like flying up into space. Like, it's just disintegrating into the cosmos.
Yeah. Weird.
And then finally, it's all gone, and they're just like, they're all sitting there in the grass, and they're like, damn, that was some shit. And Tit is like, Ergo, Ergo. And Ergo's like, oh, God. And Lissa, who is now seeing these guys for like the first time, she runs over to Ergo to see what's wrong with him. And Ergo's like, you are his queen? Yes. Then we won. Yes. Oh boy, I should have stuck to puppies. Oh. And then Colwyn looks at Alan Armstrong and he's like, I think it's time you unlock those manacles, huh? And he tosses him the key.
All right.
And then Alan, he takes it and he's like, yeah, well, I thought I'd keep them as a memento of our journey. Yeah, well, the key is yours. Only the king and his lord marshal carry this key. Yep, that's right. And then they both just like, yeah, start fucking laughing. Fuck yeah, man. We are best fucking friends. And then we hear Aenir narrating again, and he's like, a girl of ancient name shall become queen. She shall choose a king, and together they shall rule our world, and their son shall rule the galaxy. And we just see our party just like walking away into the wilderness, and it's like, da-da, 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 da-da. Credits, baby.
Woohoo!
All right.
Fuck yeah.
Krull, you did it.
Thanks.
What happened to the glaive?
That's another story. It stayed in the beast, you know, but it's cool because he didn't need it anymore because he had the power of love. Dun, 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 dun.
Why do they keep talking about their son?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was supposed to be the sequel.
Oh.
I guess so.
Now, like, I like the idea of this sequel because it's like, well, how would there still be a big bad guy, you know? And I like to imagine that the beast had his way with Lissa.
So they have a son who like turns evil, right? And then they have to have another son to go and oppose him. Why not?
Yeah, not too bad. I think the castle breaks apart, but it goes into space to get like reborn.
Yeah.
Like it comes back together. I don't know.
Yeah.
And like it's a cycle.
Yeah. Power is eternal.
Yeah.
Well, you've given me a different take on the Beast.
Yeah, I'm sure he was a great guy.
I never thought about it when I was a kid, but now I'm like, he really did just want to be loved.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sucks being gigantic. You never fit in anywhere.
And a reptile.
Yeah, that's true.
This was a fun one.
Yeah, it was.
I love this movie, you guys.
Did you have any toys from this movie? Did they make them?
They didn't.
Oh.
But I was doing some research because I was like, man, maybe I did have toys. I don't think so, but I don't fucking remember.
Yeah.
This movie came out when I was like a very little kid.
Yes.
And I researched it. It turns out that there was a company that had the license for the toys, but it kind of never happened, I guess.
Oh.
But they had coloring books and Halloween costumes.
Yeah, there's got to be a bunch of vintage merch out there
Yeah,
for
now
this movie.
I did find a vintage board game of it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, maybe I'll be able to get it. Now, interestingly enough, though, when they finished filming this movie, all the production crew were given as a gift a tie clip with a glaive on it.
Oh, wow.
When I learned about that, I was like, I must have one. And they are just not available. I was like, come on, man. You got to be one from an estate sale somewhere. This movie's so old. A bunch of those guys are dead, I'm sure. Somebody's got to be selling one. Nope.
He gave me that as my mission for his Christmas present one year.
Really?
Yeah, I couldn't deliver.
Yeah, skunked again.
Well, good job, Ron.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Awesome job.
Thanks, guys.
All right, folks, you've made it this far. If you're using Apple Podcasts or iTunes and you like what you hear, leave us a rating and review. We'd love to hear from you. We're on all your other favorite podcast apps and movieswithron.com. We got Twitter @movieswithron. There's a Facebook page. It's been fun.
Yep. We love you guys.
See you guys.
Movies with Ron.
I almost made my weapon a dildo.
I thought about it. The dildo of truth. And I feel like...
Slap him across the face with it, and he must tell the truth.
Oh, shit. That's from a Carlton Mellick book. There is a dildo of truth or some shit. And it's not from slapping you in the face with it.